Long before the Kurukshetra war shook the earth, before Arjuna lifted his Gandhava bow, before Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, the seeds of destiny had already been sown. Welcome to Sambhava Parva, the seventh section of the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata. The Sanskrit word Sambhava means birth, origin, or coming into existence. Yet this chapter is about far more than the birth of children. It tells the story of how destiny itself entered the world through kings, sages, heroes, and even the gods. Every major character in the Mahabharata traces their beginnings to this remarkable part of the epic. Here, divine plans and human choices intertwine, setting in motion events that will eventually lead to the greatest war ever described in Indian literature. Keep that thought in mind as we journey through this extraordinary story. The story begins not on earth but in the heavens. The earth herself, burdened by the growing cruelty and arrogance of powerful kings, could no longer bear their weight. Assuming the form of a sorrowful cow, she approached the creator Brahma and pleaded for relief. Brahma gathered the gods, and together they sought the guidance of Lord Vishnu. Vishnu assured them that he would descend to earth to restore righteousness. The other gods also agreed to take birth among humans, each destined to play a role in the great drama that was about to unfold. These divine births were not acts of favoritism or miracles for their own sake. They were part of a cosmic effort to restore Dharma, the moral order of the universe. Imagine knowing that you must leave the peace of heaven to experience the suffering, uncertainty, and heartbreak of human life. Would you willingly make that choice if it meant protecting the world? It is a question worth considering because according to the Mahabharata, that is precisely what the gods decided to do. While the heavens prepared, events on earth unfolded in ways that would change history forever. King Shantanu of the Kuru dynasty was a noble and respected ruler. One day, while walking along the banks of the sacred river Ganga, he encountered a woman of breathtaking beauty, unknown to him. She was none other than the river goddess Ganga herself, appearing in human form. Shantanu immediately fell in love and asked her to become his queen. Ganga agreed, but only on one condition. No matter what I do, she said, you must never question me. The day you do, I will leave you forever. Blinded by love, Shantanu accepted without hesitation. Soon they were married, and before long a son was born. But instead of celebrating the child's birth, Ganga carried the infant to the river and gently released him into its waters. The king was horrified. Every instinct told him to stop her, yet he remembered his promise. He remained silent. Then a second son was born. Again, Ganga carried the child to the river. Again, she let the infant disappear beneath the flowing waters. This happened a third time, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. Each time, Shantanu watched in silent agony, unable to understand why the woman he loved was doing something so terrible. Finally, an eighth son was born. This time, the king could remain silent. No longer, he rushed forward and cried, "Stop! Why are you destroying our children?" Ganga looked upon him with compassion rather than anger. "You have broken your promise," she said. "Now I must leave." Then she revealed the truth. The children were not ordinary human infants. They were the 8 Vases, celestial beings who had been cursed by the sage Vasistha to be born as mortals. To spare them a long life of suffering on earth, Ganga released the first 7 from their earthly existence immediately after birth, but the 8th Vasu had played the greatest role. In the offense that led to the curse, his punishment could not be shortened. He would have to live a full human life. That 8th child was named Devavrata. One day the world would know him by another name, Bhishma. Years later, Ganga returned the boy to his father after ensuring he had received the finest education from the greatest sages and warriors. Devavrata grew into a prince unmatched in wisdom, courage, discipline, and martial skill. There seemed to be no one more worthy to inherit the throne of Hastinapura, yet destiny had another path prepared for him. As time passed, King Shantanu once again fell in love. This time, the woman was Satyavati, the daughter of a humble fisherman. Her father was honored by the king's proposal, but he voiced a concern. "My daughter's son must become king." There was an obvious problem. Devavrata was already the rightful heir to the throne. When Devavrata learned of his father's sorrow, he rode alone to the fisherman's home and made an astonishing declaration. "I renounce my claim to the throne." The fisherman, however, remained unconvinced. "What if you have sons one day? They may fight for the kingdom." At that moment, Devavrata made one of the most extraordinary vows in world literature. He raised his hand toward the heavens and declared, "I shall never marry. I shall never have children. I shall remain a lifelong celibate so that no descendant of mine will ever challenge the succession." The The universe itself seemed to pause. The gods showered flowers from the sky. The sages praised his sacrifice. From that day onward, Devavrata became known as Bhishma, meaning the one who has taken the terrible vow. His promise ensured his father's happiness, but it also created a chain of events that would eventually lead to one of history's greatest tragedies. Think about that for a moment. Was Bhishma's vow the highest example of selfless duty? Or was it a noble sacrifice whose unintended consequences brought immense suffering 2 generations that followed? The Mahabharata never gives us an easy answer. Satyavati became queen, but fate continued to test the Kuru dynasty. Her sons died before producing heirs, leaving the royal family on the brink of extinction. To preserve the lineage, Satyavati turned to her firstborn son, the great sage Vyasa, according to the ancient custom of the yoga. Vyasa fathered children on behalf of the deceased princes. From these unions were born 3 remarkable men: Dhritarashtra, who was born blind; Pandu, who was healthy, skilled, and destined to rule; and Vidura, born to a maidservant but blessed with extraordinary wisdom and righteousness. Although Dhritarashtra was the elder brother, his blindness prevented him from ascending the throne. Instead, Pandu became king, a practical decision at the time, yet one that planted the first seeds of resentment within the royal family. Pandu's own life took an unexpected turn when he was cursed never to father children. Fortunately, his wife Kunti possessed a sacred mantra that allowed her to invoke the blessings of the gods. Using this divine gift, she called upon Dharma, the god of righteousness, and gave birth to Yudhishthira. She then invoked Vayu, the wind god, and Bhima was born with immense physical strength. Finally, she called upon Indra, king of the gods, and Arjuna entered the world, destined to become one of history's greatest warriors. Kunti later shared the mantra with Pandu's second wife, Madri. She invoked the Ashvini Kumaras, the divine twin physicians. From them were born the twins Nakula and Sahadeva, celebrated for their beauty, wisdom, and skill. These 5 brothers would forever be remembered as the Pandavas. At the same time, another extraordinary birth was taking place. Queen Gandhari, wife of Dhritarashtra, endured an unusually long pregnancy. When she finally gave birth, it was not to a child but to a lifeless mass of flesh. Under Vyasa's guidance, the strange mass was divided into 100 pieces and placed in separate jars. In time, each piece developed into a child. Thus were born the 100 Kaurava brothers, led by the eldest Duryodhana, along with their sister Dushala. The 2 branches of the Kuru family had now come into existence. The Pandavas, the Kauravas, bound by blood, separated by destiny. As Sambhava Parva draws to a close, we begin to see that these births are not merely family history. Each child represents an idea. Bhishma embodies sacrifice, Vidura represents wisdom, Yudhishthira stands for righteousness, Bhima symbolizes strength, Arjuna personifies skill and discipline, Duryodhana reflects ambition mixed with envy. Together they form the living forces that will shape the Mahabharata. Every vow, every curse, every blessing, and every birth has quietly moved the world toward a future no one can yet fully see. The great war has not begun, no arrows have been fired, no kingdoms have fallen, and yet the foundations of Kurukshetra are already firmly in place. As you reflect on this chapter, consider one final question. If Bhishma had never taken his terrible vow, would the Mahabharata have unfolded the same way? Or did a single act of love and sacrifice alter the course of history forever? In our next journey through the Mahabharata, we will follow the young princes as they grow together in the royal court of Hastinapura, where friendship, jealousy, rivalry, and ambition begin to take root, setting the stage for the epic conflict that will one day change the world.